Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Devotionals for Nurses. My name is Tola. And today we continue on with our study of Judges 6. And previously, when I left off, I was advocating and calling for us to believe who God says we are, to believe God over our situation, to believe God over what we are seeing, to call ourselves who God has proclaimed us to be, to call ourselves fruitful, faithful, crowned with glory and with honor, to search through the Word of God and use God's words to back up the way we see ourselves. We see in Judges 6:12 when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon and said to him, "The Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor." So the angel called him who the name that he was called by God, not by his situation. He didn't say, "You oppressed man of God," you oppressed man of Israel. That was not the name the angel gave to him. And he also said to him, "The Lord is with you." It's a reminder that God is always with us in that situation, with us in whatever is going on in life, all around, even in the midst of what was going on and happening to Israel. God is still with them. God was still with them. God is still with us. So I want you to remember that. I want each and every one of us to remember that and to call ourselves who God says we are and to remember that God is always with us. Now we start to see Gideon's personality. Gideon said to him, so this is Judges 6:13. Gideon said to him, "Oh, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? Where all the miracles which our fathers told us about, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites." So the angel of the Lord shows up, and the first thing Gideon is like, "Okay, I hear you, but if you're saying this about God, then where is he?" Some of us are too, will I say, timid to approach God as a father. And I I see the theme in the Bible of approaching God as a father. And you have to be able to ask your father questions without, well, first of all, without being rude, like your father in real life, but asking for answers. But daddy, if you promised me this, then why am I not getting it? Why am I not seeing what you promised? And to be able to approach God and say, "But Lord, this is what I'm going through. This is what is happening. Lord, why is this happening to me? Lord, I have repented. Lord, I I I'm trying." Just talking to him as a father. Just talking to him as the person who has all the answers. Not pretending to honor, because some people pretend to honor. They don't want to say their minds. They don't want to say truly how they're feeling. But deep inside, they're hurt. They're hurt. One thing I have noticed is whenever the Lord leads us to do like days of prayers, like we've done 21 days of prayers for businesses, children, marriages, leadership, we start with forgiveness. And I always, the way the Lord has taught me to do is forgive other people and forgive yourself. And if you're honest with yourself, you may have to just say, "Lord," I want to say forgive God, but that's a deeper conversation. But to be able to say, "God, why is this happening to me?" Because sometimes you feel it's God's fault. But God has just outlined before we even get here that it was the Israelites that sinned. But the way Gideon is like, but God, if you say you're the Lord, why is this happening to us? Sometimes we blame God. Acknowledge that. I think you should be able to have a conversation with your father to say, but Lord, you promised me this, but this is what happened. Yes, I know I was disobedient. It's a conversation. Lord, I'm sorry. Lord, help me. Lord, have mercy on me. Approaching God as a father still acknowledges the fact that you're human, but you are, it's an approach that helps you communicate with God when you see him as a father. And so Gideon, I feel like it was just being honest. If God is with us, why has this happened to us? Where are all the miracles? Right? We've heard the stories of how God brought us out of Egypt. And some of you have heard stories of how God has helped other people, of the miracles he's done for other people. And you're wondering, where's my miracle? I've heard of how you parted the Red Sea for my coworkers, for my friends. I see random testimonies on TikTok or on Instagram. But Lord, where is my miracle? Lord, where is my testimony? Gideon was honest with God. Gideon was honest. And you have to be honest with yourself that this is truly how I'm feeling. Where is God? Why has this happened? Right? Especially when things are happening on a national level. Well, you may not be at fault, right? You may be serving God, doing what you're supposed to do, but because the nation was experiencing consequences, right? We're not told explicitly in this chapter. But if Gideon was experiencing the consequences of what the Israelites did, if he as an individual did not participate, he was still experiencing the consequences. So to be able to say with humility and say, Lord, but you promised us this, but why am I going through this? Approach God as a father. And we'll see Gideon's method or way of questioning God did not disqualify him from being used. Some people hold so much resentment towards God, towards other people, towards people that they see thriving, and it holds them back. And for some people, it's a false humility. You look so humble, but inside, you are questioning and you're wondering why, where's God for me? But you never say it out. And it festers. So we have to be careful. It's better for you to communicate with God as a father, seek therapy, seek coaching, counseling, and work through those emotions because your emotions should not rule you. Work through your emotions so you can fully get a sense of who you are versus just burying down your emotions, eating your feelings, and say, wow, I'm just fine. I'm just fine. I'm not going to complain. I'm just fine. Be honest. Be honest and ask, Lord, why? Be honest with Him. Be honest with Him today.